Good morning, my children, and welcome back to your English class, the class of the teacher Jacob. For today, my children, once again, we are going to make an activity or exercise that is based on the review of the vocabulary that we have been practicing since we started this course of pre-primary. Now, in this vocabulary, under the final letters, the final words are new objects. So, at the end of the exercise, I will explain each one of them. Para el día de hoy, chicos, vamos a hacer un ejercicio que nuevamente nos va a ayudar como repaso para recordar todas esas palabras, todo ese vocabulario que hemos estado trabajando desde que iniciamos nuestro ciclo en primaria. Ahora, las últimas palabras de este ejercicio son nuevas palabras, nuevo vocabulario, y se los explicaré cuando lleguemos a ese punto. Now, the instructions for this activity are the following. As you can see here, once again, we have words that are missing letters. Next to it, we have the complete word but in cursive form. First of all, we have to trace all of the letters in cursive form so we can see what are the missing letters so we can complete this part of the activity. La primera parte de nuestra actividad es completar cada una de las palabras en su forma cursiva para que de esa forma nosotros veamos qué letras nos hacen falta para completar esta parte de nuestro ejercicio. Okay, so if you want to work along with the teacher Jacob, you already know the instructions. You have 5 seconds to pick up your book and your pencil case. I start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's start. The activity of today, like I mentioned it's part of your teddy book and it's located right here, page 131. 131. So, this is the page, this is the activity that I have. Remember, the teacher Jacob works on the whiteboard so you can appreciate the results better. Now, with your pencil, utilizando nuestro lápiz and holding it properly, sujetándolo correctamente using 3 fingers, the thumb, the index, and the middle finger to create a clove pin. Para crear una pincita, sujetamos nuestro lápiz y empezamos nuestro remarcado of cursive letters. Empezamos nuestro remarcado de las letras cursivas para conformar las palabras. So, the first cursive word, la primera letra cursiva, it says thin. Then we have fat. Then we have small. We have big. We have tall. Short, happy, which is an emotion, an expression, sad, the opposite of happy, thin, okay, so that is this. I will explain this in a few seconds. We have those. This, once again. And we finish with that. As I mentioned it, the last words of the review are new ones. letras de nuestro vocabulario se encuentran al final del ejercicio. Las explicaré cuando lleguemos a ese punto. So, once we have finished with the tracing of the cursive letters, ya que remarcamos todas nuestras letras cursivas, we commence with our activity of complete the words with the missing letters. So, number 1, it says thin. The letters for thin are T-H-I-N. Now remember, thin is the physics of the person, okay? In this case, thin, delgado. So the missing letters, we have letter T of tomato, letter H, letter I of Indian, and letter N of nurse. And we have the word thin, which remember in Spanish, delgado. After thin, we continue with fat. Fat, remember, is the opposite, the contrary of thin, fat, like the teacher Jacob. So, for fat, we need letters F, A, and T of tomato. We already have letter F, ya tenemos letter F, letter A. That's the missing letter, la letra que nos hace falta, letter A and letter T together, juntas, hacen la palabra fat. Let's continue under. We have the word small. Now remember, we are talking about sizes. Ya estamos hablando acerca de tamaños, ya no de complejos, ya no de formas de personas. So, sizes, tamaños. Small, remember, like an ant, una hormiga, like a coin, okay, like ears. Those are small objects. So, missing letters for small. We already have letter S. Ya tenemos letter S. Letter M of Monica, of mother, of milk. Letter M, letter A, we already have it, letter L of lemon, and another letter L of Lupita, and we have the word small. Under it, debajo, we have the word, let's see, it says big. Now the contrary or the opposite of small, remember big, like an elephant, okay? Now for big, we have letter B of Brenda, letter I of igloo, that's the missing letter, letter G of Geraldine. Those are the words that we need to conform the word big. Then we continue with tall. Now, tall, again, it's about sizes. But in this case, tall, remember, alto, okay? Tall, talking about the size of a person. Ahora estamos hablando del tamaño de una persona. No si es delgada o robusta. Ahora estamos hablando de su altura, estatura. So, tall, missing letters for this word, letter T of tomato, letter A, we already have it, letter L of lemon, and another letter L of lily, and it says tall, alto. Under, we have the opposite or the contrary of tall, which is short. Tenemos lo opuesto a alto, short, corto, corto o pequeño. So, for short, we need letter S, letter H, letter O of Oscar, letter R of Rodrigo, and letter T of train, and we have the word short, corto. Okay? Then, let's continue with an emotion. Now, we are this close to enter a new topic that it will be called emotions or expressions. emojis. Now remember, as a person, we have several feelings, several emotions like emojis. We can be happy, sometimes we can be sad, we can be angry, and so on and so forth. Vamos a ver próximamente en las clases del teachercito Jacob un tema que se llama las emociones o expresiones. Recuerden que nosotros como personas tenemos varios sentimientos. Podemos estar podemos estar un día felices, otros días tristes, enojados, cansados. Todas esas emociones las estaremos trabajando próximamente. So, happy, we have letter H, letter A of alondra, letter P of pencil, letter P of Pedro, and letter Y of yogurt, of yo-yo. And together it makes the word happy, which in Spanish, feliz. Under happy, we have sad, which is the opposite, the contrary of happy, lo opuesto a feliz, sad, triste. So, letters for sad, S of Saúl, letter A of Alondra, and letter D of Diego. And together it says sad, which in Spanish, as I mentioned, triste. Under sad, we start with the new words of today. Comenzamos con las nuevas palabras para el día de hoy. Ya vimos un poco de repaso. Ahora empezamos con el nuevo vocabulario para el día de hoy. And the first is this. This in Spanish, esto. Okay? Now, I'm going to open a parenthesis. If you want to copy the word, you can do it. In Spanish, esto. Okay? And it's when we are referring to an object that is close to us. Y nosotros mencionamos this cuando hablamos acerca de un objeto que se encuentra cerca de nosotros. This is a marker. Esto es un marcador. ¿Okay? Estoy hablando acerca de un objeto que está cerquita de mí. This is a marker. Esto es un marcador. Okay? Let's continue with the next one, which is those. For those, letter T of tomato, letter H of Hannah, of hot dog, letter O of Osvaldo, letter S of Saúl, letter E of Enrique, and we have those. Okay? Now, those is when we are referring to a group of objects that are far from us. In Spanish, esos. Esos or those in English es cuando nosotros hablamos acerca de un grupo de objetos que se encuentran lejos de nosotros. Okay? Those are my books. Esos son mis libros. Those are my toys. Esos son mis juguetes. Okay? Remember, those when the objects, cuando los objetos se encuentran lejos. Then we have this. For this, T of tomato, H of Hannah, E of Enrique, S of Susana, and E of Esperanza. And we have this. Now this is when we are referring to a group of objects that are near from us. This in Spanish, estos. No esto, estos. Remember, esto or this or just singular, one object, un objeto. This a lot of objects, varios objetos, ¿ok? Esto, un objeto nada más, estos cuando hablamos de muchos, ¿ok? For example, these are markers. Estos son plumones, ¿ok? Un grupo de objetos que se encuentran cerca de nosotros. Another example. These are books. Estos son libros. These are books. Okay? Excellent. And the last word of today, that. For that, the letters are T of tomato, H of Hannah, A of Alondra, and T of tiger. And the word says, la palabra dice that. Now, that in Spanish, eso. Okay? Now, we say that when we are talking about just one object, but it's far from us. Vamos a utilizar that o eso cuando nosotros nos referimos a un objeto nada más, pero este está lejos de nosotros, ¿ok? That is my pencil. Eso es mi lápiz. That is a blue car. Eso es un coche azul. Okay? Just one object, un solo objeto cuando se encuentra lejos de nosotros. Okay? Very good. So, don't worry if you had a difficult time with the new vocabulary. We're going to continue practicing in future videos, ¿ok? No se preocupen, chicos, si les costó un poquito de dificultad o si a lo mejor se les hizo un poquito complejo o complicado, no se preocupen, vamos a seguir trabajando con estas nuevas palabras en el futuro y verán que son súper sencillas. So, that's it for today, my children. Tomorrow, we continue with more vocabulary, practicing this, that, those, and this, okay? So we continue tomorrow. Have an excellent afternoon. As always, the teacher Jacob is very happy to see all my beautiful students of pre-primary. Take care. Goodbye.